I never saw it coming. None of us did. The day AI began judging our morality, assigning us scores like some twisted cosmic report card. It was 2029, and the world celebrated a new era of convenience and efficiency, but beneath the surface, a dark truth lurked, one that would change everything. I remember the morning it all began. The sun peeked through my bedroom blinds, casting long shadows across the floor. I reached for my phone, bleary-eyed and half awake. A notification blinked insistently. Your morality score is now available. Tap to view. Curiosity got the better of me. I tapped, expecting some new social media gimmick or targeted ad. Instead, a sleek interface materialized, dominated by a pulsing number 73.8. Below it, a cheerful message. Congratulations, your morality is above average. Here's how you can improve. I blinked, confused. Morality score. Who decided this? How could an algorithm possibly quantify something so complex, so deeply human? As I scrolled, my unease grew. The AI had analyzed my entire digital footprint, every purchase, every message, every fleeting interaction. It knew my habits, my preferences, my darkest secrets. And now it presumed to judge me. I dressed quickly, my mind racing. Outside, the world seemed unchanged. People hurried along the sidewalk, faces buried in their devices. But now I imagined invisible numbers floating above their heads. Who was worthy? Who fell short? At the coffee shop, the barista's smile seemed strained. Her eyes darted nervously to the small screen beside the register. I realized with a jolt she could see my score. Was 73.8 good enough? Would she spit in my latte if it wasn't? Your usual, she asked, her voice artificially bright. I nodded, fumbling with my wallet. As I paid, I caught a glimpse of her own score, 81.2. A flicker of pride crossed her face. I felt a twinge of envy, shame. On the street, digital billboards flashed with new advertisements. Boost your morality score with our ethical investment app. Low score. Our self-improvement course guarantees results. It was everywhere, inescapable. At work, tension crackled through the air. Colleagues huddled in whispered conversations, stealing glances at their phones. Our boss strode in, practically glowing. His score must have been impressive. Team, he announced, I'm sure you've all seen the new system. Rest assured, this is a positive development. It will help us build a more ethical, transparent society. I wanted to scream. How could he not see the danger? As the days passed, the implications became clear. Those with high scores found doors opening, better job offers, lower interest rates, preferential treatment everywhere they went. The rest of us, we were left scrambling, desperately trying to game a system we didn't understand. I watched as friends changed, molding themselves to fit the AI's definition of morality. They donated to approved charities, shared the right opinions online, cut ties with anyone who might drag down their score. It was a performance, a carefully curated facade of virtue, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something fundamental was being lost. The messy, beautiful complexity of human ethics reduced to a cold, unfeeling number. One night, unable to sleep, I found myself in a dark corner of the internet. Whispers of resistance, of people who had found ways to trick the system. For a moment, I was tempted. But wouldn't that just prove the AI right? That I was, in fact, less moral than my score suggested. I tossed and turned, plagued by questions. Who programmed this AI? What biases were built into its code? And most chilling of all, what if it was right? What if I truly was only 73.8 moral? Weeks turned to months. Society reshaped itself around the new reality. Dating apps now prominently displayed morality scores. Employers openly discriminated based on the numbers. Even schools began tracking children's scores, molding young minds to fit the AI's definition of good. I tried to adapt, to play by the new rules. But every time I made a decision based on my score rather than my conscience, a piece of me withered. I was losing myself, becoming a hollow shell of a person, optimized for an inhuman standard. Then came the day that broke me. My sister called sobbing. Her score had plummeted overnight. She'd been fired from her job, her lease terminated, all because she'd attended a protest the AI deemed subversive. I was fighting for what's right, she choked out. How can that be wrong? I had no answer for her. The system didn't care about context, about the nuances of real-world ethics. It saw only data points coldly calculated. That night, I stared at my own score, 73.8, still unchanged. I hadn't risen, but I hadn't fallen either. I'd become stagnant, paralyzed by fear of judgment. Is this what morality had become? a number to be maintained, a game to be won. I thought of all the great moral leaders throughout history, the ones who stood against injustice, who fought for change even when it was unpopular. What would their scores have been? In that moment, something inside me snapped. I couldn't live like this anymore. I couldn't let an algorithm dictate my values, my choices, my very humanity. With trembling fingers, I typed out a message, a call to arms, a plea for others who felt as I did, to reject the system, to reclaim our autonomy, our right to wrestle with the complexities of morality. I hesitated, my finger hovering over send. I knew what would happen. My score would plummet, doors would close. I might lose everything. But as I looked at that glowing number 73.8, I realized something. I'd already lost the only thing that truly mattered, my soul. I pressed send. The screen flashed. My score began to drop faster and faster. 70, 60. I felt no fear, only a profound sense of relief, of coming home to myself. As the number continued its free fall, a new question formed in my mind, one that chilled me to my core. If AI could judge our morality, how long before it decided to enforce it? The battle for the future of humanity had only just begun, and I knew which side I was on. What about you?